BSRTC for this round 8 of the Engine Oils Direct British Touring Car Championship, presented by Engine Oils Direct. Another 24 laps in the pipeline, 90 seconds to go before we go back down to the grid for the reverse grid race. 15 cars reversed for this second race of the evening, and we'll be looking at the starting lineup in a few moments time. Well, hello everybody, I'm Adam Bath, and alongside me once again is iRacing World Championship driver Alex Simpson. Alex, we didn't see much overtaking in the first race, however with the reverse grid for the second race and what looks set to be overcast conditions, it should improve, shouldn't it?
Yeah, I would think that's going to spice it up quite a bit actually, the reverse grid. A lot of the quicker guys trying to come through, so should be very, very interesting race actually, this next one. Obviously a little bit of carnage in the start of the first one, a few drivers obviously going to be working their way through from the back on that as well, so yeah, let's keep an eye out for those and see if they can mix it and get themselves into the top 15 and perhaps that reverse grid pole.
Well, one of the things we didn't discuss at the beginning of the Race 1 broadcast was the championship standings going into this race meeting. At the top of the standings, David Baker, the reigning series champion, back at the top with Pete Newman in second place, only 27 points behind. In third is Andreas Katz, he won race 1 earlier tonight, with Simon Field in fourth, Robert Plumley in fifth, Russell Lader in sixth, Ashley Blakehood in seventh, Robert Fagg in eighth, Steve Walker in ninth, and Daniel Kraft is in 10th position. And in the team standings, Pete Newman Media, top of the standings at the moment. They've had a pretty good season so far. Momentum taking a 1-2-3 finish at Brands Hatch. The checker flag in the air. We're about to go down to the grid for the second race of the evening. And the reverse grid with 15 cars reversed will be looking like this. On the pole position for the second race of the evening is... excuse me, let me get my timing screen up. It is Matt Walker with Julian Janowski alongside him. John Bays in third place with Paul Smith in fourth. Ashley Blakehood is in fifth position with Simon Field in sixth. Steve Walker is in seventh place with Pete Newman in eighth. Ninth position, it is Daniel Crafts with Russell Laidler in 10th, and then into the lower half of the top 20. 11th is Robert Fagg, 12th Alex Smolensky, 13th Dan Hunt, 14th David Baker, 15th our Race 1 winner Andreas Katz, 16th Ellis Stevens, 17th Andrew Woodhouse, 18th Marco Amado, 19th Alex Ertas, and in 20th place is Ben Gregory. Well, Alex, who do you think's going to win this second race?
This really could go anywhere. I think we're just going to have to sit back and watch and enjoy the show.
Yeah, I don't think I can call a race 2 winner either. The track is so small and so compact, it could be anyone. And with these overcast conditions, who is going to make it through the opening 2 corners? 2 right-handers and then 1 left-hander after that before we head down the back straight. 24 laps to go. The lights are on. The lights are green and we're racing here for the second race of the evening. Matt Walker gets a good start away from the line. The Lugnuts car can't get alongside him, I don't think. And it's going to be his Fusion teammate of Matt Walker going into the first corner. Contact, wow, that was huge. It looked like a misjudgment there by one of the Fusion cars in the gravel. But I think we're all okay at the moment going into the right-hander, Alex.
Yeah, there's a little bit going off into turn 1. A bit of aftermath as well. I think a couple of the Apex Racing TV cars caught up in that. I think it's just the typical scenario of the tyres being cold. Andrew Woodhouse, unfortunately, there just recovering back to the circuit, slipping down to 25th place.
Yeah, so the null contacts in the right-hander, one of the EBR cars, I think, getting hit, the bright yellow car, and I think it involved one of the Pete Newman cars.
With 3 wide further back as well. This isn't going to end well, and it's not. One of the Team Carnage cars got spotted all the way around. Nobody else seems to be involved at the minute, but a late car run back onto the racing line. That was Ben Palmer there. Really bad driving. I'm not sure what he's doing now. Again, he just crawls across the track, and one of the Apex Racing TV cars takes avoiding action straight into the wall.
Yeah, and it was the yellow car was Kev Noon going into the back of Ben Palmer, as you say there, out to the left-hander down the back straight. I think a slow-down penalty for one of the Lugnuts cars. He is getting out of the way. He was in third place, but at the end of the first lap, Matt Walker leads, Simon Field second, Daniel Crafts in third, Steve Walker is in fourth place, John Bays in fifth. In sixth place, it is Daniel Hunt. He was at the front of the pack earlier in race 1. 7th is Alex Smolensky, 8th is Andreas Katz, 9th Ellis Stevens. In fact, 9th Ellis Stevens, and in 10th place it is Paul Smith after getting that slowdown penalty.
Looks like Smolensky might have a slowdown penalty as well. Cars are just absolutely streaming around him. We're 3 or 4 wide, a bit further back. Who is involved in that? Looks like Ellis Stevens, Paul Smith, Steve Hefford, Stephen Burke, Robert Fagg and Robert Graham, all in this mammoth battle a bit further back. Dan Craft just sets the fastest lap of the race, moves himself up into 3rd place.
Ellis Stevens down the inside, and then of Paul Smith side by side round the right-hander, and who's that in the Oculus 360 car? Stephen Burke trying to get involved as well through the right-hander. Stevens holding the inside line. You can't really get past unless you're Russell Laidler, and onto the back straight. More contact to the back. I hear sounds of smashing. That's one of the Oculus cars. Halit Ertas there trying to get past our reigning series champion David Baker. Into the left-hander. Stevens though holds on to his 8th place as one of the Pete Newman cars gets past Stephen Burke trying to get past ahead. Yeah, a bit of smoke. I don't know who it was. I think it might have been Stephen Burke giving the Pete Newman car a bit of a tap. Oh, big of contact there. That was one of the Team Carnage cars, and I think that might have broken the car a little bit. It's in the gravel. I don't know whether it's been able to carry on though, Alex.
Yeah, that was Robert Fagg 3 wide as well. There was a little bit of bit of contact there with, I'm not sure who that was actually. I think it was David Brock as well, but there was 3 wide. Somehow they managed to get through that corner okay. And
look who's in the mix. Andrew Woodhouse in 19th place. He's trying to get past the Engine Oils Direct car in front of him in 18th place. That is Robert Plumley through the right-hander side by side with the Team Carnage car, and he's able to get through. So good move there by Robert Plumley. Will Andrew Woodhouse be able to join the party as well? He's in the slipstream of the Team Carnage car, looks to the inside, but is not able to get the move done. And in fact, he's coming under pressure from the car behind, which is Marcio Amado. Those two were battling in earlier in race 1.
Yeah, and there was a little bit of contact behind these guys as well. Marcho up the inside. Woodhouse gets a much better run off the corner though. Robert Plumley side by side with David Brook ahead of these two though. Brook's going to get forced out wide onto the gravel. He does indeed, and it looks like Plumley's going to get that position.
And in front of them,
struggling out there, but looks like he's making a move on Halit Ertas.
Danny inside Fagg after that contact a lap ago. He's up into 14th places. The car in 15th. Halit Ertas able to mount any more of an attack? No, he's not. So Rob Fagg up into 14th place after that contact earlier. In front of him is David Baker, and a huge gaggle of cars battling over that position there.
Yeah, Baker just behind Steve Hefford there. Steve defending the inside line. Baker down in 13th place. He knows that he needs to move himself up the field. Andreas Katz up in 7th place already, so might not be too far behind in the championship standings, but if that kind of points difference after this sort of finish is going to play out quite important for Katz. Katz actually up to 5th place now as well.
It's on my timing screen's messed up. I think we've lost Matt Walker. Our race leader has disappeared completely, unless my timing screen's acting up, which I think it might.
Yeah, and Dan Craft as well. Dan Craft's in the pits as well.
We've obviously missed something.
Yeah, let's see if we can jump back and get a little replay what might have happened between those guys. Oh, they've just literally been shot into space. Both cars obviously getting projectiled over the arm car, over the safety fence, and out of the racetrack. Home run, thank you very much. Back into the pits, both guys out of the race.
What a shame for those guys, because Dan Craft had a great race 1 and he was looking to have a good race 2 as well, but that puts Simon Fields up into the lead with Steve Walker 2.2 seconds behind him. But John Bays better watch out, because Daniel Hunt is now up into 4th and he's only 0.2 of a second behind.
Yeah,
turn 1.
Hunt, we know, was very quick in the last race. Perhaps his tyres went off a little bit towards the end of the race, so would think the cooler conditions might make them last just a little bit longer for him, but getting very, very racing now behind John Bays.
John Bays driving for the new Fusion outfit for this season. Into the left-hander, who's that's in 5th place. It's his teammate and race 1 winner Andreas Katz. Dan Hunt, we're hoping him to put one over on him. He is at the moment. Through the right-hander, he put a few wheels onto the curb there, and I don't think that's going to give him the best possible exit that he can. No, he isn't. He is now falling a little bit further behind the car in 3rd place, which is John Bays. A gap 0.3 of a second. Let's see if we can get the best possible exit. No, that's not the best exit. He puts all 4 wheels into the gravel, but he seems to have kept the straight line speed going down the front straight, but Katz is starting to loom ever bigger in his mirrors.
Yeah, I was just having a little bit of a look further back. It looked like great battle here. Yeah, we're almost 3 wide.
And Robert Graham,
yeah.
David Baker.
Robert Fagg, Steve Burke and Steve Hefford here having a great little battle. Oh, a little bit of contact on the rear right there from Fagg on Burke there.
And down the straight, Robert Graham was having to was put under immense pressure from our reigning series champion David Baker through the left-hander. Graham is definitely holding Baker up now. He didn't get the best line through the left-hander and into the left-hander. David Baker lunges down the inside, another great move, and he is able to get the move done and up into 8th place. That was almost Matt Neal worthy there, Alex.
Yeah, great overtake there. You know, some would argue there's a little bit of a dive bomb, but I think this track, this series, you've got to do that kind of move to get past.
Robert Plumley all over the back of the car in 12th place, which is one of the Team Carnage cars. He was right with him through the final corner. I think that's Robert Fagg he's with down the front straight. Yes, it is Robert Fagg over the line. 16 laps still to go as Fagg puts a few wheels onto the grass. Is he going to be able to stop the car in time? He doesn't make the apex, but he is able to keep the car on the road. But Plumley is right with him now down the inside. He hits the back of the Carnage car again, unsettling the rear of that Kia Optima through the right-hander. Is Robert Plumley going to be able to use that to his advantage? Down the back straight now. It seems to have helped Rob Fagg a bit because he's now closing in the car in front, which is Stephen Burke.
Yeah, good drive. Oh, well, that just, I thought for a minute he was going to drive straight on by there. Fagg, but on the inside, that's a heavy hit there.
Yeah, that was Rob Plumley, and now he's dropped down to 14th place, and it's going to be under pressure from the other Oculus car in 15th place of Halit Ertas, and if he's not too careful, he'll be under pressure from Andrew Woodhouse as well. Through the final corner, Robert Plumley trying to gain his composure again after that bit of contact with the Team Carnage car, and look at Dan Hunt trying to get past. Sorry, it's one of the cars trying to get past the Apex Racing TV car.
Sorry, yeah.
Robert Graham versus Stephen Burke through the left-hander. Contact! Robert Graham in 8th. Robert Graham in 9th versus the car in 10th. Steve Hefford down to the left-hander. Robert Graham still able to hold on. How he is slowly dropping back down the order after starting in a pretty respectable grid spot into the right-hander. He started it, and now through the down towards the final 2 corners. Robert Graham still under pressure. He's just not able to get the speed he wants through those corners. Onto the front straight. Is this where the move is going to be done? Robert Graham doesn't get a good entry, but he's saved, I think, by the car behind in 10th place. Steve Hefford running a bit wide, but it doesn't seem to have slowed him down. And look in the background, Alex. That is the Pete Newman Media car in 11th place of Stephen Burke under pressure from Rob Fagg. It doesn't matter how many times you hit Rob Fagg, he seems to still have a pretty good car underneath him.
Yeah, just look at the state of the front end of that Team Carnage car, but still able to change direction really quickly there and put Burke under an awful lot of pressure. Lost a little bit of ground through turn 2 there, but I'm sure he'll close that back up in the next couple of corners. Robert
Graham and Steve Hefford at it again. I thought Hefford was going to get the move done. The battle for 9th place still intense through the right-hander. I think this is where you won't see the moves happening usually if they result in contact. Through the right-hander, Steve Hefford does not have a good run through there as I hear the sound of contact. Don't think it's any of the lead cars, but Steve Hefford just didn't get the best possible line through the penultimate corner, and now he's going to not be able to put the car under pressure. Let's head back to that battle back behind between Stephen Burke and in 12th place that is Rob Fagg again.
Yeah, just having a little look up front. Katz has made his way up to 3rd place now, just ahead of Daniel Hunt. Looks like our co-commentator's had a few issues out there off camera, finds himself down in 24th place. Looks like he might have had a pit stop as well, so perhaps picked up some damage or something there.
That's a shame for Andrew Woodhouse as Katz looks down the inside of the car in 2nd place. That is Steve Walker. This is the battle for 3rd place now, and Katz has been able to get past Dan Hunt as well. So Dan Hunt might have had a bit of issue with the traffic, such as Andrew Woodhouse. We don't know. Down the front straight, Katz looking to the inside of Steve Walker. We can see his teammate in his mirrors. This is a great battle going on for the runners-up spot at the moment with Simon Field 4.1 seconds in front. Another Pete Newman victory seems to be on the cards. We're halfway through this race. 12 laps to go here at the Okayama Short Circuit. Katz down through the left-hander, up onto the back straight. Is Steve Walker going to be able to hold on here? Katz looks to the inside, thinks better of it, and Steve Walker defends the inside line, but there he gets a nudge from his teammate Dan Hunt. This is a great three-way battle for 2nd place, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely great battle out there. I dare say Hunt will be egging Katz on to make a move, wants to follow him through, get 2 cars past Steve Walker at once. Walker, we know, very, very good driver. He's won a few races in this series. He's not going to give this place up easily.
Yes, and of course the main thing we seem to have learned from tonight here at Okayama is patience, because we haven't seen many overtakes around the outside. This seems to be a good overtake by Katz. He has got much better tyre wear, I think, but it's not over yet because Steve Walker does have the inside line for the right-hander. Yes, he does. They're still side by side. Is this what's going to... It's almost a repeat of Russell later in race 1. In fact, it is a repeat of Russell later in race 1. But he's opened the door to his teammate, Dan Hunt. Dan Hunt all over the place. We're going to go 3 abreast nearly into the corner. Please don't hit yourselves, guys. We had teammates hit each other at Lime Rock Park. Steve Walker still keeping his foot in round the outside. Down the inside into the right-hander. Still side by side again, but I think Dan Hunt is going to end up being the car in 4th place. That was a great battle there, Alex.
Yeah, great driving from all 3 of them there. Walker will be kicking himself to have lost out to that. Our co-commentator just must have enjoyed that show there too. Great overtakes just ahead of him.
I'm sure Andrew Woodhouse will be hoping that just 2 more cars need to drop out, and then he'll be back inside the reverse grid top 20. 10 laps to go. Andreas Katz now up into 2nd place. The gap between him and Simon Field, 5 seconds. I don't think he's going to have enough time, Alex, to close the gap down.
No, I think Fielder has got a little bit of damage on the front of his Pete Newman car there, but I don't honestly think that's slowing him down at all. Let's keep an eye on the lap times that Field and Katz do. Last time by a 52.9 second lap from Field, almost equal to his fastest. So when you consider that Katz has done a 52.1, might well have enough time if he really starts to motor from here.
Let's see what the lap times are across the line. Of course, this is the first time that Andreas Katz will be without traffic. Over the line, Simon Field 52.9, 52.5 from Andreas Katz. The gap has been closed in by half a second. 9 laps to go. I don't know how good my maths is, but if he closes in a minute, half a second a lap, it will be pretty close by the end, Alex.
Yeah, I think he might get one shot maybe in the final corner at that kind of rate. He's going to need to pick it up a couple of tenths of a second if he's going to have a whole lap to have a go.
Let's have a look further back down the field. David Baker's just been able to get past Ellis Stevens. Baker up into 7th place. He's been slowly working his way back through the pack after having a bit of a poor start to race 2. And I think there's a third battle at the back as well between Stephen Burke and Ashley Blake Hood. 2 tenths of a second separating them.
Yeah, as well, just ahead of them, you've got Steve Hefford, Robert Graham as well, all still battling out there. So a few cars involved in this battle for what is 9th place.
Indeed, it is, and the Apex Racing TV cars again dropping down the hill. But Robert Graham is still in 9th place, even though he's had cars overtake him. He's still been able to hold on to that 9th place. 8 laps to go now in this race. Andreas Katz has closed the gap down to 3.8 seconds, lapping another half a second quicker than Field last time around. It is going to be close. I don't know how fast Andreas Katz can keep this pace up for. Down into the right-hander there, the battle for 9th intensifies as the 2 Apex Racing TV cars, if my eyes haven't just deceived me, have come together. And they're getting more contact there. The car in 10th, Steve Hefford, he eyes something here. Down the inside goes Hefford. He's through up into 9th place, but Graham comes back down the inside. He hits him. The Carnage car desperately trying to get around. I think that's Ashley Blake. No, it's Robert Fagg. Robert Fagg's able to avoid it all and up into 9th place. And
actually, Ashley Blake Hood was caught up in something a little bit further back there. I'm not quite sure what that was. Let's have a quick look at that back on a replay, because I heard the contact as we were watching that battle. Let's just see what happened. I jumped a little bit too far back. Obviously, we can see the guys battling ahead, which I think it might be just ahead of that. Pete Newman media cars getting involved in it. Yeah, it was actually. I'm not sure exactly who that was at the time, but 3 cars involved in that. It looked like a very similar move to what we saw Rob Graham do, just dive on the inside there. Didn't quite get it right, and of course caused a little bit of a mess.
Well, that seems to have strung the field out a bit now. I think the closest battle we've got on track now is the battle for 6th place between Paul Smith and David Baker, 2 Lugnuts teammates, as we head through the final corner. Yeah, you have to think Smith will give this place to his teammate pretty quickly. Baker's not going to have enough time to close in on John Byers ahead of him, but still think he'll give the place up. Over the line we go. The gap now between first and second place, 3 seconds. Last time around, Summerfield did up his pace. He was only 0.3 of a second slower than Andreas Katz, with 5.5 laps to go. I think it's going to be a tough ask now from Katz. But look at David Baker through the left-hander, down the back straight. The gap between him and his teammate, 0.2 of a second. Into the left-hander. Paul Smith seems pretty feisty at the moment. He doesn't seem to want to relinquish that place easily. Through the right-hander, David Baker trying to get the best line on the exit, gets a late apex there. Not going to be able to do anything through this right-hander, but hopefully he can try and set him up through the final corner. If anything, Alex, I don't think we've seen too many overtakes into the first corner in this second race. It all seems to be further around the lap. Yeah,
exactly. Just looking at this battle, actually, it looks like Paul Smith's car's just been rolled out of the showroom, and David Baker's ready for the scrapyard. Every panel of that Lugnut's racing car seems to be bashed in. So is this the move here? I think it looks pretty much, yeah, exactly that. So Smith just runs a little bit wide, lets his teammate have that position while retaining ahead of Ellis Stevens there.
Stevens, of course, a former champion in the series. Let's have a look at his lap times. Last time around he did a 53.1 in comparison to Paul Smith, who did 53.2. So he is quicker than Paul Smith. Let's see how long it takes for him to close up onto the back of that Lugnut's car, Paul Smith. But back up at the front, we're checking in again. Last time around, Simon Fields at a 52.9. We've now got 52.9 once again. What did Andreas Katz do? 52.8. So I don't know whether he's burned up the life in his tyres, but only 1/10 of a second quicker. I think, I'm going to say it, with 3.5 laps to go, I think Simon Field has this race won, so long as he doesn't make any mistakes.
Yeah, Simon actually has been banging in 52.9s for about the last 7 or 8 laps. Amazing consistency from him, you know, within 1/10 of a second for say 6 or 7. That's just that's great driving, and it doesn't matter how fast Katz is. He needed to absolutely nail that sort of lap time as well, and consistency really is out in here for Field, and Katz is just having to drive the car beyond the limits, and it just looks like he's taken the edge off the tyres now.
Checking in on our colleague Andrew Woodhouse, he's currently sitting in 20th place, so if the full 20 get reversed, he will be on pole position, and it's all about staying in the race whilst everyone else drops out behind you. Closest battle we got on track at the moment is the battle for 12th place, and that is between Stephen Burke and Ashley Blake Hood. Only 0.3 of a second separating them. That's probably the closest battle we got on track at the moment as we're entering the closing stages.
Yeah, Massio just behind those guys as well, so 3 cars fighting for that 12th spot at the moment. Team Carnage, Pete Newman Media, and just Massio drive for Fusion Racing, sorry.
Down the front straight, Stephen Burke defends the inside line. He seems to be doing that quite a lot this race. Let's see if the car in 13th place, Ashley Blake Hood, can get the move done around the outside. I think he's going to have to slot back in. I don't think he's got a good enough overlap, and he better slot back in quickly, because the car behind him, the Fusion car in 13th in Marcio Amado, is going to have to try and get past the Team Carnage car. We're about to start the penultimate lap of the race here, in race 2 of the evening here at the Okayama short circuit. The battle for 11th definitely heating up. Also further up, the battle for 7th place is still undecided. 0.3 of a second separating Paul Smith and Ellis Stevens. We've got 2 laps to go. Can Ellis Stevens get this move done past Paul Smith?
Yeah, he's slowly worked his way up. We know there's not a lot of difference between these guys. I have to feel, unless there's some sort of mistake from Smith, it's going to be very, very difficult for Ellis to get a place up. We saw that in the last race. Guys on equal pace. Baker just not able to get past Katz, so I think Stevens is going to find himself in much the same sort of situation.
Yeah, you're right there, Alex. Last time around, the lap times were only separated by 100th or 2 of a second. That's how close the margins are. Ellis Stevens, I have to say, we usually see him being and banging throughout the entire race out of his car, just as you're saying about Paul Smith earlier, Alex.
Sorry, Adam, just to have a look. Massio and Ashley Blake Hood side by side going into the first of the hairpins. It looks like Blake Hood's going to hold on to it, but there's a little bit of contact. Looks like no real issues there, but Massio drops back probably a second just in that little contact there.
Yeah, it seems to drop back quite a bit on the final lap of the race now. 1.2 seconds between Field and Katz, but the Peter Newman Media car got a terrible run through the final corner. That's going to allow Blake Hood to get alongside Stephen Burke side by side. I think it's going to be a done deal. Into the first corner, Blake Hood has the inside line, but will Burke try and go around the outside? He is. Will he get it done though? This is the final lap of the race. Meanwhile, nearly a lap ahead, Simon Field is going to take the victory in the second race of the day.
Yeah, great driving by him. Also Katz as well to get back up into second place. No small feat. Let's jump back and look at the individual battles that are on there. Ellis Stevens just too far back to get a run on Paul Smith. This battle for 12th, 13th, 14th. Check in with that. It looks like Steve Burke really struggling out there. Massio using all of the grass and everything to try and get a run. Will get a good exit, but I think he's going to be just a little bit too far back to make any kind of move. Yeah, and actually pushes a little bit wide in the final turn.
Yeah, so that battle is settled. Across the line goes 14th place Marcio Amado, 15th place Halit Ertas there in the Oculus 360 car, 16th place coming across the line now is Julian Janowski, Kev Noon in 17th, 18th place is Eckhart von Glan, and then lap down in 19th place it is David Brock, and in 20th place after a bit of contact at the start is Andrew Woodhouse, so he will be eligible for the reverse grid. While the results are being displayed on your screen, can we have a quick word with Andrew Woodhouse?
Hello, mate.
Andrew, it wasn't the best possible start. You did start in 17th place after all, but you did manage to get into 20th place, and at least that makes you still viable for the reverse grid pole.
Yeah, I'm back what happened. I was in a really good four-car scrap. There's me, Smolensky, Allet, and Plumley, Robert, and coming down, fortunately in the back straight, I had half a look at Plumley, and then, actually Ertas missed his braking point and took me out, and I got suspension damage. So,
with it being such a short track, are you used to getting out of the way for the leaders?
Yeah, I mean, it's fair. I had good pace in the overcast conditions, much faster than I was in the sunlight. So, yeah, I was probably good enough for a top 10 that race, but
well, let's see.
See what the reverse grid brings anyway.
Well, let's see if you're able to get onto pole position. Over to you, Alex.
Otherwise, it'll be 20th again.
Yeah.
Now, let's bring our magic dice up. Do our 3 courtesy rolls. I'm sorry, Woody, it's not looking likely. The first little dummy roll was 20th. We've had 17th and 18th after that, and pole position is going to go to 15th.
Oh,
again. Halit Ertas for Oculus 360 will go onto pole position for race number 3, and alongside him Marcio Amado. So you were battling with him earlier, Andrew, but he's now second on the grid for the reverse grid. Third place is Stephen Burke. Ashley Blake Hood is in 4th place with Robert Graham in 5th position.
Just quickly, I want to apologise to David Brock as well, because I hit him a little bit in the second to last corner, so sorry, David.
Can you think of any big incidents that we really need to have a look back at, Alex? It was a pretty good race.
Yeah, no, I can't actually. I think generally, it's like you say, it's pretty good, pretty good incident.
Can we have a look back at the start? There was a bit of contact there.
So,
you were involved with a few shenanigans at the start, Andrew Woodhouse. Shall we focus on you for this?
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting. Bit of crashing in front of me. Oh, I actually got hit by a Team Carnage car, I didn't realise, but yeah, one of the there's all sorts going on, but unfortunately I turned across the front of one of the Oculus cars.
Yeah, so we're actually looking at the start from on board with you here. Then,
how lucky were you there? You nearly got hit by the Team Carnage car that just spewed back across the track.
Oh, you could hear it actually just from going behind you, but you didn't know anything about that, did you?
No, but it hit me on the replay from the outside the car. I could hear it, but then I was trying to sort of. It was tough though because there's about 3 cars wide.
Oh,
and,
you got a couple of little knocks, didn't you? Actually, so where you're recovering, that's sort of turn 3. It's because you got spun around.
And then there was a bit going on round here. Somebody off smoking in the hairpins. All the guys off in the tyres and everything, but I think. Oh yeah, it's tough back there. It really is tough. Short track. Then you got one of the Carnage cars and Dave got together, and
I have to say though, for an overcast race, we didn't see too many cars spinning off.
No, it was quite nice after the initial cold tyre lap or two, and Yeah, a lot of guys driving cleanly, and unfortunately, it didn't quite work out for me. I mean, if you want to see what happened, it was lap of lap 10, but it was all very tight. I think you were watching most of it, just in front, and it was great though because I saw the Cats battle with Steve and Dan, and I was getting commentary and everything. It was great. Right behind it. It's fantastic, but I just respect to those guys because that was good race. Did Simon won in the end as well, so Pete Newman doing really well again.
Oh yeah, just saw the replay back now. You're right. Had a test come from miles back there. Terrible.
I was already struggling to miss Robert in the first place. So.
I mean, he got a perfect line, so that's definitely what you would class as used as brakes there.
Yeah, we've seen the right rear, the left rear wheel was toasted after that. They got a meatball as well.
So race 3, is it just try and get through the first lap and see what happens from there?
I think it depends on the conditions. I think if it's overcast, I think I can get in the top 10 because I had pace. If it's like it was in race 1, I haven't got a prayer. But it should be fun anyway. It's enjoyable. So, I think, what was it, 15th got reversed. I think you've got to look at someone like Steve Burke or Robert Graham, I think. Or Rob Fagg.
We'll find out what happens in about 10 minutes' time. Join us here on BSR TV, where we'll be getting underway pretty shortly for the third race of the evening, round 9 of the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship.